Good evening, welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Avneet Arora. Here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Monday, the 3rd of November. Tensions prevail after suicide blast at Pakistan-India border kills 57. Bangladesh Supreme Court upholds death sentence of Jamaat leader Kamaruzzaman. And Pakistani Shias observe Ashura processions amid tight security. And now for all the details. Pakistan continued to be in the grip of fear even on Monday, a day after one of the deadliest terror attacks in recent times. At least 57 people were killed and nearly 100 others were injured in a suicide blast near the Pakistan-India border.
Pakistan's eastern Punjab province was under a cover of heavy security on Monday following the deadly terror attack as funeral services for the victims were held in Lahore. Those injured in the powerful blast are still undergoing treatment in various hospitals across the provincial capital. Authorities said the death toll could rise as many of those wounded still remain critical.
मज़ीद जो लोग हैं वो अस्पतालों में इस वक्त उनका इलाज हो रहा है और कुछ लोग अभी क्रिटिकल हैं, तो इसलिए ये फिगर अभी फाइनल नहीं है, मज़ीद तादाद बढ़ भी सकती है। तमाम अस्पतालों में इमरजेंसी का नफाज कर दिया गया है, तमाम पैरामेडिकल स्टाफ जो है वो अस्पतालों में मौजूद है और अस्पतालों में सब कोशिश की जा रही है कि ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा अच्छी सर्विसेज प्रोवाइड की जा सके ज़ख्मियों को।
The incident took place near the Indo-Pak border in Wagah when thousands had assembled for the flag lowering ceremony on Sunday evening. According to police, the suicide bomber, armed with at least 50 pounds of explosive, detonated himself near a crowded checkpoint on the border. Jamaat-e-Islami, the recently split faction of the Pakistan Taliban, has claimed responsibility for the attack. The spokesperson of the militia, Ehsanullah Ehsan, said the blast was in retaliation to the ongoing Zarb-e-Azm in North Waziristan. India, meanwhile, also stepped up security along its border with Pakistan in wake of the deadly blast. Both the countries have also decided to suspend the flag ceremony for 3 days.
नहीं, हमारा कल रात ही उनसे संपर्क हो गया था। मतलब जो एक बेसिक कंपनी कमांडर लेवल की फ्लैग मीटिंग हो गई थी और उसके बाद ये निर्णय हुआ है कि 3 दिन तक अब जो है वाघा पर जो ज्वाइंट रिट्रीट सेरेमनी है वो नहीं होगी।
Pakistan has in the recent years been roiled by terror attacks from homegrown militant and jihad groups which it had once encouraged to destabilize neighboring India, Afghanistan and Iran. Though the Pakistan army claims to have eliminated the Taliban during the ongoing military operation, many believe it has only scattered the insurgents who are still capable of unleashing terror in the region.
China has pledged its support to bring stability and peace to Afghanistan, urging the Taliban to join the peace process. A report.
China expressed confidence about seeing normalcy returning to Afghanistan soon. Highlighting the importance of maintaining peace in the war-torn nation, China called upon the new government and the Taliban to come to the negotiation table to decide the future of Afghanistan.
我们呼吁包括塔利班在内的阿富汗的各个政治派别要抓住机遇 做出决断，捐弃前嫌，着眼未来，能够尽快的参加到政治和解的进程中来，共商阿富汗民族和平与发展的大计。
Beijing also hosted the 4th Istanbul process, a meeting of foreign ministers of Asian countries aimed at rebuilding Afghanistan. The meeting comes as the US-led NATO troops recently announced a formal end to its combat mission in Afghanistan. China pledged to donate over $327 million over the next 3 years and offered help to train 3,000 Afghan professionals in the next 5 years. It further extended its support to restore key infrastructure which the country desperately needs.
The Bangladesh Supreme Court on Monday rejected the appeal of war crimes convict Mohammad Kamaruzzaman against his death sentence. The International War Crimes Tribunal, or ICT, had convicted him to death for committing crimes during Bangladesh's 1971 liberation war.
The Appellate Division of the Bangladesh Supreme Court upheld the verdict of a law court which pronounced death penalty for Jamaat-e-Islami leader Mohammad Kamaruzzaman on Monday. The ICT had in May last year found him guilty of killing 164 people and committing other crimes against humanity. 62-year-old Kamaruzzaman was one of the organizers of Al-Badr, a pro-Pakistani armed group which was responsible for mass murders in 1971.
The verdict that we have received in the tribunal, the Honorable Tribunal, that has been kept, and in the appellate division, therefore, the death penalty which has been granted by the Honorable Tribunal is restored by the appellate division.
Mir Qasim Ali, 62, an executive member of the Jamaat, was found guilty on charges of killing, torture and abduction during the war to break away from Pakistan in 1971. The media tycoon was also accused of letting loose a regime of terror in Port City, Chittagong in 1971. The Apex Court had last week also rejected the appeal of another Jamaat leader and former Industries Minister Motiur Rahman Nizami against his death sentence. Monday's Supreme Court judgment comes amid a nationwide shutdown called by the Islamist Party opposing the verdict. The Jamaat, an ally of former Prime Minister Begum Khalida Zia's Bangladesh Nationalist Party, is accused of fighting along the Pakistan Army against the formation of Bangladesh. The Jamaat-e-Islami Pakistan is also organizing protests in Pakistan.
पाकिस्तान के 18 करोड़ आवाम के जज्बात के मजरू किया जा रहा है। हम उनसे मुतालबा करते हैं कि बंगला सदीर को बुलाया जाए, एहतजाज किया जाए, असेंबली और सेनेट के अंदर इसमें भरपूर बहस की जाए और साथ साथ सारी दुनिया के अंदर इस जुल्म के खिलाफ आवाज उठाई जाए। अरे तुम नहीं उठाओगे तो इंशाअल्लाह जमात-ए-इस्लामी पूरी दुनिया में आवाज उठाएगी।
The ICT was constituted in 2010 by the Awami League government led by Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina.
Sri Lankan government has confirmed of 38 deaths so far in the massive landslide that hit the country's southern province last week. Rescue teams continue to search for those missing as hundreds still remain trapped under the debris.
Disaster management officials revised and lowered the death toll but asserted the number could touch over 100 as recovery efforts continued. The rescue team stepped up evacuation and relief work after the rain stopped on Saturday, giving way for resumption of search operations. Hundreds of army personnel equipped with heavy machinery continue to struggle through the mountain of rubble as hopes of finding more survivors fall by the day. Those rescued are being shifted to relief centers set up for displaced victims. The massive landslide buried the entire village of Haldumulla, some 120 miles from capital Colombo last Wednesday. Some 150 houses, mostly of the Tamil minority tea plantation workers, are believed to be caught under the heap of clay. International community, including the United States and India, has pledged financial and relief assistance to the calamity-struck nation. The incessant rains which have been lashing through Sri Lanka are being cited as the reason behind the landslide.
As Shias observe Ashura, Pakistan remains under a tight security blanket to avoid any probable attack on the mourners. The minority community has come under regular targeted strikes during the sensitive holy month of Muharram.
Pakistan has mobilized thousands of police and paramilitary troops to guard the main Ashura processions as they pass through traditional routes in various cities and towns on Monday and Tuesday. Pakistan's Federal Interior Minister Nisar Ali Khan had on Saturday issued directions for maintaining high level of alertness from Sunday to Tuesday. Members of the minority community in commercial hub Karachi, however, said they still fear sectarian attack during the observance.
वाले जो है ना अपनी ड्यूटी कर रहे हैं, लेकिन उसके बावजूद जो ये दहशतगर्द हैं वो बहुत ज़्यादा मजबूत हो चुके हैं। तो लिहाजा अब हम अपनी जानों पर खेलकर आते हैं, ये आज़ादारी तो कभी ख़त्म हो नहीं सकती।
In capital Islamabad, security was stepped up at Shiite mosques and other meeting places. Over 32,695 troops of army and paramilitary forces across 54 districts of the country have been deployed. While motorcycle pillion riding has been banned in several cities, closed-circuit cameras and aerial surveillance was in place to monitor sensitive points. In several cities, mobile phone services have also been suspended.
सिक्योरिटी इज एट हाई अलर्ट क्योंकि थ्रेट लेवल जो है वो हाईएस्ट ग्रेड का जो है ना वो थ्रेट है इस वक्त। तो उसलिए हमने जितने हमारी जो पॉइंट्स हैं तकरीबन जो टोटल 5369 मजालस बनती हैं और 616 जो हैं वो प्रोसेशंस बनते हैं, टोटल 5985 हमारे जो इवेंट्स हैं वो बनते हैं। उनको कवर करने के लिए हमने जो बेस्ट पॉसिबल रिसोर्सेज की डिप्लॉयमेंट थी वो हमने की है।
Ashura marks the end of first 10 days of Muharram, the first holy month of Islamic calendar. Shia Muslims observe it by arranging processions and parading through the streets to commemorate the sacrifice of Prophet Muhammad's grandson. Muharram processions in Pakistan are usually most prone to sectarian clashes in Sunni-majority Pakistan. At least 11 people were killed when a group attacked a mosque and a religious school of Sunnis, besides torching over 200 shops in Pakistan's garrison town of Rawalpindi. More than 800 Shias have also been killed in sectarian strikes in Pakistan since the beginning of 2012, according to Human Rights Watch.
Electricity was restored in most parts of Bangladesh by Monday after the nation faced a major blackout over the weekend. Power authorities said the engineers managed to repair plants supplying about 70% of electricity and hope to reconnect the rest soon. Bangladesh faced a major power cut on Saturday after a trip command on one of its transmission lines with India led to the shutting down of power plants and substations. The technical snag brought life to a standstill, leaving hospitals, international airport and other key facilities running on emergency systems. Saturday's blackout was the worst in Bangladesh since a 2007 cyclone collapsed the national grid for several hours. Power-strapped Bangladesh has been importing electricity from India since October last year. And Bollywood's latest season holds for cinefans some rib-tickling rom-coms. Take a look at two of the releases lined up for this month.
पिक्चरों में अच्छा लगता है एक्स्ट्रा बातें एडिट कर देते हैं सिर्फ कॉमेडी रोमांस गाने दिखाते हैं.
They say all is well that ends well, and taking cue from the famous saying is Bollywood's fresh offering, happy ending. But does it live by its words? Actor Saif Ali Khan's latest home production also stars Kalki Kochlan, Ileana De Cruz and Govinda. The cast of the film took to a promotional event in entertainment capital Mumbai. Khan, who plays the role of a writer in the film, said it was a light-hearted story.
And we read it and thought it was quite new and progressive, and it's also a bit of a spoof on romantic comedies. The guy, the writer, lives in America, so his sensibility is slightly different, and he has to write a Bollywood film. So in a way we're kind of making a little bit of healthy fun of ourselves.
Writer Yuri, who is caught between finding inspiration and finding love, hasn't penned down anything in the last few years. Arman, a fading movie star, desperate to save his stardom, takes to Hollywood to get a Bollywood script written in Hollywood style. He finds the solution to his problems in Yuri, whom he asked to write a film. Amid all this, Yuri's former girlfriend thinks she's still in a relationship with him, even after he broke up. While Khan is trying to impress with his signature style of slapstick humor, actor Akshay Kumar is also out with his effortless comedy in the upcoming The Shaukeens. Kumar got onto the stage with the entire cast including actors Anupam Kher, Anu Kapoor, Lisa Hayden and Piyush Mishra along with the writer Tigmanshu Dhulia to promote the film.
नहीं बिल्कुल बिल्कुल खुद को किया है सिर्फ एक अल्कोहलिक चीज है जो मेरे अंदर डाल दी गई है एक किरदार के अंदर रंग डाल दिया है बस उतना ही है बाकी मेरा जो भी आप देखोगे इट्स जस्ट लाइक व्हाट आई एम.
Kumar talked about his extended cameo in the film. The Shaukeens is the remake of the 1982 classic Shaukeen. It is the story of three old men who decide to have some enjoyment in their lives. As they take on a holiday, they end up wooing the same girl. The film also stars Rati Agnihotri.
I'll get my bikini.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude, the top stories once again. Tensions prevail after suicide blast at Pakistan-India border kills 57. Bangladesh Supreme Court upholds death sentence of Jamaat leader Kamaruzzaman. And Pakistani Shias observe Ashura processions amid tight security. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.